The land here where the winery sits and our main vineyard across the highway was originally my grandparents' cattle farm. They moved here in the 60s and ended up having 5 kids, and they were looking for something for their kids to keep them occupied, so they started raising cattle. Since my grandparents have passed, we were trying to figure out what to do with the land, and we knew we wanted to maintain that agricultural vision that they had. I was getting my MBA at the time, and I had to write a business plan. So I wrote a business plan on starting a vineyard on our property and presented that to the family, and they all loved the idea. In 2008, we planted 1 acre of vines, and then in 2009, we followed that up with 2 acres and have done kind of smaller plantings here and there. But once we got the vines in the ground, I kind of thought maybe I should learn a little bit about wine. Up until that point, I was 26 years old, drinking Natty Light with my buddies on the weekend, you know. So I dabbled. I bought some kits, started out with like just add water type of kits, and then graduated up to pails of juice. And then once our vineyard started producing, we sold most of the grapes, but I kept some back and experimented with that. And then when I was getting married, my wife came up with the idea that we should give away wine to all our guests that I made. So I ended up making 90 gallons of it, and it turned out pretty drinkable. So I kind of decided that maybe I could scale this up to the commercial aspect at that point. You know, the wine is really where you make your money. So that's kind of when we started planning for the winery and opened to the public here in 2015. Grapes come in these big half-ton bins. We'll take those and we'll run them through our crusher and destemmer. So inside of there, they separate the stems from the grapes themselves. And then for red wines, they'll fall down through and we'll crush those grapes. And so that'll drop into a big vat. We'll take that inside and do red wine fermentation on the skins. So once that ferments, it's about a 5 to 10 day process. We put that into our press and separate the skins and seeds from what's now wine and pump that back inside for the fermentation. Our red wines, we age a minimum of a year before they see a bottle, and more likely 2.5 years. Once we finally had the grand opening, I kind of sat back and thought, this is pretty cool. You know, it's something that I never imagined I would be doing 10 years ago, probably even 5 years ago. But yeah, it's we're still kind of in that honeymoon phase a little bit, but now we're kind of getting back to, okay, what can we do every year to improve over the last year?